welcome to the MPG podcast. I'm your host, John Graybill, joined with
Jordan Missig, as always.
Hello, Jordan. How are you?
I'm doing great, John. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Down here, I'm coming to you down here from Florida in a kitchen in Florida. So we got the studio set up here. The mobile studio is ready to go. And where are you tonight?
I am back home in my house in Shanahan, Illinois. Flew in yesterday from Virginia, Raleigh, actually early this morning from Raleigh, Durham. Flew into Midway and then got back to my house early this morning. So just coming back from Virginia International Raceway from an exciting and action-packed 2 days of testing down there.
Yeah, so it's March 10th right now as we record this. So Virginia, VIR, Virginia
Yes.
International Raceway, about 2 hours southwest of Richmond. Is that about right? Did you fly into Richmond?
No, I didn't go up to Richmond. Like I said, I went down to Raleigh, Durham in North Carolina, flew down there, and then I was traveling up from North Carolina up to Alton, Virginia, which Alton, coming from the Raleigh, Durham area, is literally right as soon as you cross the line, you're hitting VIR.
Yeah, it's
right
just
there.
Barely in Virginia. In Virginia. Okay. So sorry I missed that. I was that you did say that you were going in. You went into Raleigh Durham. So how many days were you there?
We were there for 2 full days, 3 days, I guess you could say, because I flew in on Sunday. Yeah, I remember starting correctly. Sunday I flew in. Monday we were just kind of doing all the prep work. Actually, Monday we were testing. Tuesday we tested, and then I flew back early this morning. That's what I said,
quick trip,
so,
yeah.
Quick 2-day test down there.
And driving the same car from last year, the F3.
Formula Regional,
F3 from last year, outstanding. And so, how did it go? How's the car feel this year?
Well, the car feels this year really well. I feel like we're honestly starting to hit our stride earlier this year than we did last year. Although VIR is probably one of my best tracks that I have driven on the Formula Regionals calendar. This year we're really starting to fine tune the car a little bit better, and I think we're actually finding a little bit more pace out of it this time around than we have last year over there. We posted some quicker times this time, faster than my qualifying time than last year. So that was a positive note out of it, but I think we're starting to get a real true feeling of the handling of this car and starting to understand like what areas we need to attack and what going to be our weaknesses and what's going to be our strengths for this year.
Oh, excellent. How much total track time do you get? You get 3 or 4 sessions a day? Is that?
Yeah, we got 5 sessions, so 5 30-minute sessions, so 2.5 hours worth of track time.
That's a lot.
That's what they provided to us. On the first day, we got 4 30-minute straight sessions, and then the last session was obviously a standing start practice. So what they do is they have you do standing starts to start off, and then right from the standing start, you go into your practice.
Oh, nice. So how many tires do you go through on a testing? A tire a day, set of tires a day?
It depends on what they do. We went through 4 sets.
Okay.
4 sets of tires. Yeah, so started on 2 scrub sets, and then throughout the test, the first day, Monday, we went through 1 set, and then on Tuesday, we went through 3 sets, 3 sessions back to back.
Oh, wow. Very good. And the car's feeling good? The adjustments were all good on it?
Car's feeling really good, yeah. I mean, we struggled early on to find pace. The car was kind of understeering a lot in the entry in the middle part of the corners, I feel like. So it was understeering quite a bit. And then we kind of fine-tuned the car a little bit to get the adjustments to where the car was able to grip a little bit more in the entry and able to go through the center a little bit better. So once we handled that and got that going, the lap time just kind of fell through with it. So, we found out where our weakness was, and then we attacked it and found out what our strength was after that. So it worked out really well for us to find the lap time we were looking for.
How much work is done on the car in the off-season? I mean, did they take the motor, disassemble the motor and take it apart and put it back together, or that motor's pretty hardy?
I mean, you can do multiple different ways. Obviously, you can just go through the general maintenance that the motor has, like you would do from race to race. Some people will go through a full engine rebuild. where they'll take the whole engine apart and then fix up the pieces that need to be redone, or manufacture them again and then put the motor back together. And some people just buy a whole new motor and install a whole new engine with 0 hours or just out of the factory. So it depends on which way you do it. Most people will generally go for, I mean, when you look for your recreational part, like your daily, your guys who are going to be, just doing this for fun as a hobby, will do rebuild motors. Some guys will keep the motors from last year, and then others who are looking for the top performance out of the car, will purchase the new motor and put in fresh new engine in it every year.
Okay. And how much does the motor vary? I mean, what's the altitude there at VIR?
I mean, the VIR, I think, is 500 feet above sea level. So, I mean, you're not really too high on an altitude. So, I mean, horsepower doesn't really come too often with there. You're not producing much horsepower than the others. When we were there, though, we started off with cooler temperatures in the morning. So I'd say we were around mid to upper 40-degree weather. And then as the day went on and we got into the late afternoons, we were starting to creep up into the 60-degree weather. So, I mean, when you look at the difference between lap time-wise, the morning sessions were always very cold and very slick, but also got grippier as the tires started to heat up. So on cold tires, it was tough to get tire temp, but then once the tires started to heat up, you started to get a little bit more brake pressure with the brakes heating up as well. Tires were gripping a little bit more, able to carve through the track a little bit better. And then when you look at when the temperatures started to increase, the track started to increase a little bit with the trad temp, and then the track started to get a little bit more slick. So the tires were starting to lose the grip a little bit with the traction compound, and just starting to slip a little bit on acceleration.
Okay. So this is, I think, only your second time on track this year. Is that correct?
Yeah, third time, I think, because we did test out at the Firm. We did, well, actually fourth time. So we did 2 tests at Savannah and the Firm, which are 2 very small tracks that we were able to test on privately. And then we went to a combined test at the Gustavo Yackerman's Yacht Academy over in Sebring with a bunch of other guys. So we were able to be over there and see what they were able to do, as well as compare ourselves with them. And then we went to the series test this past week, 2 days over at VIR to cap it off.
So when's when's it going to be your first race?
So the first race is actually 2 weeks away. A lot shorter and a lot closer than we think.
2 weeks. Wow.
2 weeks away in Atlanta, Georgia.
So is that Road Atlanta, I assume that's going to be? Yep. Okay.
Yep. That's Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta.
2 weeks away. Wow. It's coming.
It's creeping up quickly. That's the good news, is that it's creeping up, and it's creeping up quick, which is nice.
So that's your last testing before the first race?
Yeah, so the guys at Newman Walks Racing are going to take the cars back to the shop, kind of go through them, do its final prep, get a race ready to go, and then we'll get all the equipment and tires and everything we need for Road Atlanta, all the spare parts, put it on the truck, and then ship it down to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta for the first race of the season.
Oh, exciting. That's awesome. And do you have a teammate this year?
Yeah, I do have a teammate. He's from Guatemala. His name is Ian Rodriguez. He's recently raced over. He raced in the States previously with the Road to Indy, the couple Indy Pro 2000 races here at Road America, and I think he was very quick, very fast. Was able to get, I believe, a win here and a couple podiums. And then last year he was racing over in the Formula Regional European side of the. So he was racing over in the. He raced over in Italy, or at the track named Imola. So I raced over there. Ended up winning a race and then podium twice against those guys. And he's only done a couple races here and there. He's only done a couple one-off races. Well, this year he's signed on with Newman Walks Racing with us for the full season. So we're excited to have him on board, be my teammate, and look forward to see what he's able to do for the team, as well as what he's able to do against the competition that we have here in America.
That's exciting. That's cool. Teammates are always, I think, what do I know? But teammates are always cool to have somebody that you're working together with. And
well, I'll explain that here, actually. Teammates are very valuable in many different ways, in terms of feedback, in terms of finding different lines, finding different strategies or pace. They're very valuable. When you look at a single car team or single like a guy who's just by himself on a team, the only thing he can compare himself against is his opponents that he sees on track as well as himself. So he can compare data against himself and compare video versus himself, or if someone's taking video of someone else. That's the only resources they have. Whereas a teammate, you have access to their video if the team allows it, and maybe some of the times their data. So you can see if they're faster than you in a certain part of the track, if you're faster than them, where they may be beating you, where you may be slower, and what lines there could be taken and gears there could be taken for each specific corner versus what you're doing. And with all that comes speed. So he may be faster than you in the second part of the track, but you may be faster than him on the first part of the track. Well, then you and your teammate can work together to find out where do you need to improve, and then from there you're nicking maybe tenths, thousandths of seconds from there, and the next thing you know, a lot of times slowly dropping every session that goes by.
Oh, yeah. So it is pretty valuable. Yeah, I never really considered all those
So
things. Yeah.
when it comes to teammates, the more the merrier is what they say. Not only for cost wise, but for data and analysis wise. So that always helps.
Wow, outstanding. So 2 weeks away, I'm assuming you'll load in on a Wednesday for Thursday practice?
Yeah. So we'll load in on Wednesday. Thursday will be like a promoter test day. We'll use that as like a practice session all day. Friday will be 2 practice sessions, and then Saturday's going to be a qualifying session in the morning, race set in the afternoon, and then Sunday will be 2 races, all to finish up the 3-race weekend that will be at Atlanta.
Well, outstanding. We're looking forward to seeing all your success this year, and particularly at this first race here in Road Atlanta. Outstanding. So what else is going on? What else do you have on your plate?
Well, we're going to try something new on the podcast, and we're going to do a little new feature that we have now that we have this new recording system. I'm going to go ahead and try to do track preview. And with that, we're going to go ahead and kind of go over what we did over at Road Atlanta, if I'm allowed to. Share audio as well. Why not? So, with this now, we are able to see what my screen is about. So let me pull this up, and right here we have my video from lap from Road Atlanta. So let's go and take an onboard look at what Road Atlanta is like. So here we go, going into the front straightaway. We can start our lap here, crossing the start to finish line, and it's a long straightaway heading down to turn 1. Hard on the brakes once we get into here, and you're trying to get the car as nice and tight as you can to the apex. From there, you're letting the wheel out of the car and trying to accelerate on the throttle. Don't want to have too much wheel into the car unless you create a little bit of oversteer and what we call a push loose. Setting up for turn 3, you want to try to brake in a straight line, get down to the apex, and then use the rest of the track on your acceleration out. Turn 4 and 5 is a quick left-right hander, setting up for turn 6, which is a momentum-based corner, and you want to get back on the throttle as fast as you can to set up for this long straightaway heading up towards the S's. We head underneath the bridge, and the S's is flat out all the way up to the top next to the condos up here. It's a quick left-right, and then into a fast left-hander as we approach turn 10 up at the top of the hill. Turn 10 is a slight dab of the brake, and then you're coasting a little bit, back on the gas as soon as possible, not trying to run too wide or else that curve out there will shoot you off into the grass. Hard on the brakes, setting up for 10, which is actually the setup corner for 11, which leads onto a long straightaway. This is probably one of the more important corners on the racetrack as you try to unwind the wheel and get back to the throttle as soon as you can to set up a possible passing zone all the way down here at 11. From 11 to 12, I should say. You go through 12 and 13 up to 14 up at the top of the hill, long straightaway as you let the car go up to 6th gear, hitting upwards to about 160 miles an hour. Braking it around the one board, going into a slight left under braking and trying to hug the car as right as you can into the roller coaster, which then takes you into a hard left, flat out, and then you come over into the hog pen, a blind left-hander over to a right, and then you're trying to get the car back on the gas as fast as you can without letting the car run too wide, or else you'll end up in the grass and way out of contention. Up over the line, and then across the line we go, down the front straightaway, and that is a lap at VIR. So, wow. Were you able to retain all the information that was just said right there?
No, not me. No, I'm going to have to watch it a few times for that, yeah.
Well, the good news about this being on YouTube is you have the ability to pause and go back if you really wanted to. So, but wow. Yeah, it's a cool feature that we have now with Riverside that we're using. So, awesome to see, and we're going to be showing a lot more race highlights when they happen.
Outstanding. Awesome. All right, Jordan. Got some. As always, need to reach out for you. Just Google Jordan Missig Racing. The normal social media and emails out there. You can find all those. JordanMissigRacing.com. Sponsors.
Yes, new sponsors plug in now. So now we have the luxury of having Audubon Country Club as my sponsor as always, and now PSA Check. PSA Check has now come on board with us for the 2021 season, and I am more than happy to have them. I couldn't be more happy to have them all on board with us. And stay tuned for next episode where we're gonna have them on board to discuss what PSA Check is all about.
I can't wait. All right. Well, thanks so much, and we'll see you next time on the MPG podcast.